It's supposed to feel.
All right, what's going on, everybody? It's the North Shore 9 Postgame Show. I'm Tyler. With me is Douglas Freshwater. Doug, that was a clunker, my friend.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I mean, when the Pirates face Patrick Corbin turns into Sandy Koufax. At one point, I was listening on the radio side, and they'd said that this was the most swing and miss. He had 12 swing and misses on a slider, and that's the most he's had since a game last year against the Pirates. Yeah. So, and I know later he got to 14 swing and misses on that. I don't know how many after, but
well, we'll get to the hitting later. Patrick Corbin came into today sporting somewhere around a 5.40 ERA.
Right.
And as the title of tonight's postgame show says, he carved up the Pirates. They looked overmatched today. Very bad.
Yeah. It resembled one of the team, the team from May and June. It resembled the team from last year. It just, we got a hit, and you would look at the next guy come up thinking, well, he's not going to do anything. I mean, that's just, you didn't think, at no point did you feel like, all right, we're here comes our run.
Yeah. On the other side of things, the Pirates trotted out Andre Jackson tonight. And I will admit, I've had some intrigue with Jackson. I still think there is some sort of potential there, not in the role he's in, but in some way, shape, or form as a major league pitcher. Tonight, he was very fond of leaving pitches middle.
Right.
And boy, did he pay for it.
Yeah. The more I see him pitch, right, the intrigue is still there. He definitely has some stuff.
Intrigue.
You like the frame, you like the extension, which now seems to be we're looking for extension. But the more I see him pitch, the more I see a very effective reliever.
Yeah.
It seems that he's got 2 perfect innings in him, and then after that, it's a little shaky. So maybe we turn him into an opener, and with the success that the Pirates have had with openers, I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that, or he becomes a guy that he's a bridge guy, gets you, comes in and pitches the 6th and 7th and gets you to hold him in. Again, he is young, and we tend to write people off quickly, especially our waiver claims. So, I mean, some guy, we could sign Rich Hill back again, and he could teach him a new grip. And next thing you know, he's, I mean, pitchers learn stuff and develop along the way. This is some of his first extended major league action.
Right.
I don't want to write him off yet, but at this point, I'm not counting on him getting a lot of Cy Young votes.
I think to take that a step further, I don't think I'm really counting on him to be a major league pitcher in this organization. At this point, it seems like chances are that he's going to be just a guy. The thing that I think really interests us is the changeup. The changeup, I think, is really good. I think the fastball can play. It's just the command is the reason that he's on his second team and a failed prospect.
Right. Yeah, it's where he is. You're right. The changeup looks to be a really good pitch. He has the issues that a lot of young pitchers have. So, again, we've got 19 games left. Throw him out there every 5th day.
Right.
We've got no problem. See what happens, given the state of the rotation. He like you said, he was just leaving some stuff in the middle, and even the Washington Nationals can,
I mean, I think it was CJ Abrams' first home run. He left a changeup belt high, middle, and that thing got sent to Philadelphia.
Does it give you any comfort knowing that that right now there's a Washington Nationals podcast where they're discussing if what CJ Abrams is doing is for real or,
Come on, Doug. You know that nobody has the grind that we do.
Yeah.
There are
Right.
no other people as crazy as we are to do a post-game show 162 times about a team that might win 73 games.
Yeah. And we are oh God, we're a special.
Oh, we're special.
I mean, we're doing it, and then we've got people watching it. Is the
Yeah.
you know?
There are people that have tuned in probably 150 plus
Yeah.
times to us.
Yeah, I mean, we got Mark and Robert in here now. Mark, Robert, I think has only joined us since we drafted Paul Skeens, but he's here. He is here for it every night. These guys are great.
But talking about us being crazy, let's talk about, I don't know, just go down the line with the pitching tonight, because I was talking to Jim during this game.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I know, right? But he did bring up a decent point, unlike normal Jim things. The Pirates really didn't throw a professional pitcher until the ninth inning.
Right. I mean, it was, again, young guys, nice stories, right? One guy, 16th round pick, was about to give it up. Another guy was coming off a bad knee injury. But
yeah, Doug, I literally forgot what Hunter Stratton's name was. I was like, who was that second guy they brought in again? The guy that looked like crap. Not much intrigue.
No, yeah, there's not a lot of intrigue with,
yeah,
and it's a shame. These are the kind of guys you want to root for, you know. I mean, and it's great if we could have kind of success with them, but right, if you know, again, you got the feeling that Derek still knew this game was over,
yeah.
right? Because we did not see our major league relievers. We saw the cleanup guys, the mop up, you know, duty guys, and they sort of mopped up, but they missed a spot here or there. You know?
They mopped up with a broom.
Right, yeah, but Hernandez is still there, you know.
Yeah.
So then we got to Hernandez, and he is definitely intriguing. So.
We say intriguing way too much.
We do.
But just to go back to touch on Stratton, feel good story. I don't really think he looked that bad tonight. I just don't really see that the stuff playing at a major league level.
No, he's completely nondescript. He doesn't do anything. He has nothing elite. He's got above average velocity. He's a big kid. He's got decent enough command, but there's nothing.
There's nothing I can cling on to there.
Right. There's nothing there to say, oh, this guy's going to be a key part of a bullpen of a good team.
Right? What he's more likely to be is a guy that is up and down a whole lot for a few years.
Right.
Whenever an arm goes down, they need an arm to come up. He's going to be one of those guys.
Right. Until he starts getting to a point where he makes money. Right. He will be DFA'd and picked up and invited to spring training and et cetera, et cetera. But nobody's going to pencil him in as, this is our sixth inning guy.
Yeah. And then they go to Bolton, another guy that basically is what Hunter Stratton will probably be. He's one of those up down guys, and Cody Bolton's just really put together an awful year.
Yeah, he really.
He looked really bad again today.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of years ago, I had pretty high hopes for him, and and then I thought, well, man, it's just a knee injury, not just a knee injury, but he didn't have Tommy John, so hopefully he can come back and be effective, because he had some promise. I found him interesting.
There we go.
And now I'm not that interested anymore. And again, I always, it always sort of annoys me when a guy gets injured and we just write him off. Like, he's not a prospect anymore because he got injured when he's 19 years old, So I was hoping that Cody Bolton would come in and carve out a role for himself. And he hasn't been able to do that. And just like you said about Stratton, it's his sixth time up with the Pirates this year. So, I expect to see, I mean, he can come in and, this is the kind of game to pitch him in, right? You don't want him to hold a lead. Hopefully he doesn't, just implode.
Yeah. And then just final touches on Jose Hernandez. He looked really good tonight, which is good to see. Slider looked really good. He stayed in the zone with the fastball. Really, we haven't seen him look I think, strong in a while.
Right.
So he's a guy that you really want to be able to count on as maybe that 4th or 5th guy in the pen next year.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Left-handed. He is. They said I was listening on the radio side quite a bit, and Bob Walk said he's thrown over 500. I can't remember. It was over 500 sliders, and he's given up 14 hits on it all year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good pitch, right?
really
He's got an elite weapon.
Right.
He's got an out pitch, and I mean, again, I would have no problem, giving a 1-run lead to him in the 7th inning, and then say just get it to the next 2 guys. So he looks compelling.
You just want to bring up thesaurus
synonyms. I am using synonyms here for the I word that I'm now putting a self-imposed ban on. But yeah, I mean, look, it was a good find. He has been a good pickup. He had he started out great, got hurt, had a little rough time, but it seems here the past couple outings he's looked decent again. And yeah, I'm excited to see what he does moving forward to the rest of the season.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, I just want a 4th or 5th guy out of him. That's
right.
it.
Yeah.
I don't need you to be the 8th or 9th inning type of guy. I want you to be the lefty in the pen. That's it. And do it well.
Right. Just be effective. And I mean, along with the King Barucki, gives us 2 good lefties, and it'll be great.
Moving on.
Well, this is the end of the show, right? Because there's no offense to speak of.
Yeah, well, as you just mentioned, very, very limited offense tonight.
Thanks, guys.
First run of the game scored off of an infield single by Jared Triolo, and Brian Reynolds drives him in. Aside from that, it was pretty much dead for quite some time.
Right.
The one part I do want to bring up is I mentioned the last time I was on, I like where this team seems to be heading now in terms of team speed. They look a little more aggressive on the base pass. When I say that, I don't mean run yourself out of innings with 2 outs like Connor Joe did today with a runner on third. There's just no reason to do that in that situation. I know that you can pretty much take a bag on Corbin, but he's still a lefty, and you're going on first move there with a runner on third base and 2 outs.
Right.
That's just stupid baseball.
Yeah, Bob Walk was saying he should do it. Right before he was saying that hey, Corbin, they're not going to want to throw it over with Reynolds on third, all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, well, it's not so fast, my friend. And I want to comment on my red face. Robert has mentioned my red face. I went to the Pirates-Braves game, and I sat directly in the sun when I was promised that I was going to be under the roof or awning or whatever you want to call it, and I got fried. I've never sweat so much in my life. I had sunscreen on. It did not matter. It just dripped off. So I had a fun 6 innings, and then things kind of got a little ugly.
Do you have a gym tan line right now?
No, it's not. I just have my red face. No.
So not to just leave a hat backwards.
Right. After I made fun of Jim, I certainly I would not have come on the show had I had that tan line.
But just back to that play. At the very least, if you're going to do that there, Connor Joe has to get in the rundown and at least give Brian Reynolds a chance to score there. He just keeps going. Then he finally waits a little bit too long to get in a rundown. Reynolds probably takes off a little bit early there. If you're going to do something kind of silly like that, to me, you just got to execute it. And they didn't execute it well. And I think it was just dumb to do in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. But I don't know. You've watched a few Pirate games this year, Tyler, and I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but we are not a fundamentally sound team. We don't seem to know things about when not to run and when to get into a rundown to let the other guy have a chance. And we certainly don't know what base to throw to, or, we can find first base to tag now this year. So there's been improvement over the past 2 years, but this team is not fundamentally sound. They make these kind of mistakes all the time. And it's not just, it's not just G1 Bay. It's not, it's guys that are part of the solution next year, part of the roster, guys that you're counting on. And it's maddening. I don't understand what this team. I don't know what they go to spring training for, right? Because they come here and nobody has any. And it's not. Brian Reynolds doesn't know where to throw throw
Yeah.
the ball a lot of the time. And it's infuriating.
How I will say one thing in the Pirates' defense there. Miguel Andujar was up.
Yeah.
He was going to swing at everything anyhow, and he probably did have one of the worst at bats I've ever seen in my life in the second inning. He takes a strike and he swings at 2 pitches that probably hit home plate.
Right. I mean,
He looked like Javier Baez.
He looks terrible sometimes, but to his credit, right? I mean, he does have the occasional hit. I mean,
the numbers don't look bad this year, to be honest with you.
Right. They don't look terrible. And, again, we're quick to write guys off. And I guess you can't say you're quick to write him off because he's been bad for.
Oh, I wrote him off a long time ago.
Yeah.
And he's still on that list.
Right. Everybody did. But he has been hitting. He has been making some contact and hitting the ball kind of hard. Although, I want Henry Davis coming back playing DH. So I don't know what you're going to do with him otherwise. So.
Yeah. Well, play him literally anywhere. I need Henry Davis in the lineup. Hopefully that happens pretty soon.
Andy got a hit tonight.
Andy did get a hit tonight. He's still just not hitting well.
Not at all.
He's collecting like 1 hit a night at this point.
Yeah.
He's not striking out that much, I guess, but it's not good enough right now.
Yeah.
And
we tend to make excuses for the guys we like. And, I keep seeing highlights. Look at him. He just pounded his fist into his mitt. What a leader. It's like, well, I would just rather him get a hit.
Why are you looking at my Twitter account?
Oh, man, come on. I'm addicted. It's the best follow on there. So yeah, he needs to be better. And again, I'm sure he is focusing on his catching, and it has paid off because he's improved. Yes. He looks pretty good behind the plate. He moves around well. Man, he can throw some guys out. But yeah, I would like to see a little better offensive production from him. He doesn't look overmatched or overwhelmed. The at-bats are still pretty good. But yeah, it'd be nice to see him string together, a couple multi-hit games and kind of catch on fire a little bit. Yeah,
that's the big thing at this point. Like, he went through a pretty bad slump. He's sort of out of that slump, but it's still not very good.
Right. Yeah,
it's just not bad enough that he's killing you.
Right. It's not a slump. And I mean, he's replacing Austin Hedges, so it's an improvement, right? But yeah, he's like you said, it's he's probably hitting 240 in the last nothing,
right?
Not a lot of pop whatsoever.
At this point, he looks like Brian Hayes before his hot streak. Like, he's collecting hits. You're like, it's not good, but it's not to that level of good because Hayes was still better than Andy is right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got to be better at the plate. It's early. I'm encouraged by some things I see, but at the end of the day, he's got to be better.
Yeah. It would just be, I mean, just like it is with Hayes now. And I don't expect him to play it to Hayes' offensive level, but if he could just, get a nice stretch of, the last, whatever, we got 18 games left or something like that, where he, his OPS is 775 for the, just so we can say, look, he picked it up toward the end, even though I don't believe in September baseball.
Fair enough. Aside from Andy, Peguero collects a hit, Bay gets a hit, Trujillo already mentioned him, and Connor Joe got a hit. Any of those guys stand out to you at this point? Like, anything that you're just making mental notes of going into next year?
Bay has looked better since he got back.
I would agree with that.
So it seems like there's been a little growth there.
Still 2 strikeouts tonight. He strikes out too much for a guy that has to be a contact hitter. Right.
You can't. Right. You can't be swinging for the fences when you don't. Right. You're striking out like
ability.
Yeah. And again, when you have that kind of speed, slap that ball down on the ground and get some infield singles. So, but yeah, so he's been a little better. I mean, again, it was just like you said, it was just a clunker. There's no way to describe it. Nobody looked good offensively.
They just they didn't have the horses today.
Yeah. They just,
pitching, hitting, they didn't have what of the dudes that they have, they just didn't have them today.
Yeah. And it was that collective, everybody just had a bad game.
Yeah.
It happens, it's frustrating. And again, when you're playing the Nationals, you want wins. We like you said, we're hoping to get to 73, 74, and this is the week to make some ground on that. 2 last, and then the rest of the way, I think we play all playoff contenders. So hopefully, hopefully they bounce back tomorrow.
Yeah, let's hope so. Not sure who's on the mound tomorrow. I didn't have a chance to look earlier. It's still TBD.
I don't think the Pirates are sure. So yeah,
normally they would announce it by now. It just hasn't hit their app yet. But let me just see if I can find it real quick, unless the chat beats me to it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, or maybe they don't know. I don't know.
Mark.
I would guess it's going to be an opener and Falter.
Oh yeah. That makes the most sense.
That would be my guess.
And I think Falter didn't have an opener his last outing, so he might just start.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? They didn't really announce Jackson until like last night either, so I don't know.
Mark is saying to activate Henry Davis and put him right field or behind the plate. What are you going to do with Endy? I want Endy behind the plate.
I want Endy behind the plate as well. We'll worry about Davis defensively in the offseason, I think.
Yeah.
All right, well, Pirates lose this one. Let's get out of here, Doug. Everybody wants to go watch football.
And then go watch the Jets, right?
Yep, the Zach Wilson-led Jets.
Yeah. ESPN's just going to be crying. Everybody turn the game off.
All right, we're out of here. Peace out,
guys. Thanks.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucs.